High school sports are different, especially in Indiana, and these Hoosier student athletes couldn't agree more.
We all know the saying, in 49 states, it's just basketball, but this is Indiana.
Well, the same is true for all high school sports in Indiana, like volleyball,
and soccer,
and softball, and track, and so many more.
We're passionate about high school sports in Indiana.
They're an undeniable part of our state's culture.
They're woven into the DNA of our communities.
It's what we dedicate our time to.
It's what brings us all together.
It's what we celebrate.
And as a high school student athlete, that's a pretty special environment to grow in.
Representing your school and having your entire community behind you.
Being a high school student athlete in Indiana is something we never take for granted.
And it's an experience we'll never forget either.
I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig. Support Hoosier student athletes like these by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events. This is who we are. This is Indiana. This is your IHSAA.
A couple minutes later, Fishers would tie it up with a 24-yard field goal from Mackay Kicks to be tied at 3, which that would go into the end of the first quarter. And then later in the second quarter, Westfield.
Went up downtown. Went up downtown. I want to save my soul.
night in northern Indiana. Playoff football is upon us. Semi-State is here with a trip to Lucas Oil on the line. Will Westfield advance to state for the second straight year, or will Carroll come out and stun the Rocks and head to state? Good evening, everyone. I'm Drew Taylor alongside Callie Stigler. And Callie, here we are, Semi-State. How are we feeling?
I'm feeling good. We know we had a 2-hour drive to kind of think and process, and now we're finally here, and this is a good Friday night. Little rain, but hopefully it's a good game here.
Yeah, and Callie, Westfield is rolling in the playoffs, knocking off team after team. What do the Rocks need to do tonight to continue this sort of positive trend we're seeing?
Yeah, they've done a good job all year, especially last week versus Fishers. They kind of started off a little rocky, but then after halftime, they got it started. But you're also playing kind of a rainy mix out here. Westfield doesn't have experience, so it might be better to keep the ball a little more on the ground. And just looking at Carroll, we don't really have a common opponent other than IHSAA. They played week 1, so it's kind of a hard factor to see what this game will really look like until it's halftime.
Yeah, and Carroll, speaking of Carroll, Carroll is led behind star receiver Jaden Van Pelt Sr. He's extremely elusive and talented, averaging over 114 yards receiving per game. How can he be a factor tonight?
Yeah, they have a junior quarterback, but he does a good job. And so if you leave him Van Pelt out and you don't guard him as well as you do in the secondary, it could be a bad game for Westfield's defense. You have to kind of lock him up because he's going to be shifty with it, especially, it's raining, but, their quarterback looks like he's doing pretty well in the rain.
And finally, what are your keys to the game tonight for both teams?
I think for Westfield, it's, making your mark early, starting off strong. You had a 2-hour bus ride. You don't want to start off a little sloppy because Carroll could take advantage of that so easily. And for Carroll, it's you got to, show up. When you don't show up, Westfield will take advantage of that. They were out here warming up before Westfield was locked in. So Carroll's, I think, prepared for this. I think they just have to get going and kind of lock into their mindset early.
Yeah, and as you talked about, that 2-hour drive up north can be detrimental to teams from the Hamilton County and central Indiana area. And I think the biggest thing for Carroll tonight is, given the conditions, we have rainfall, and it's going to be hard to throw the ball tonight. If they can shut down the rushing attack for Westfield, whether that's Baylor Connor, Biegenkeen, whoever we kind of expect to see taking reps at the running back position, and especially Aiden Grabowski, as you know, very explosive quarterback. I think if they can do those things, they can potentially come out with the win tonight. Folks, we're just a little under 30 seconds away from kickoff. Do not go anywhere. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. Welcome back to the Westfield Sports Network. Westfield won the toss. They deferred to the second half. So out will come, obviously after the kickoff, out will come Gabe Freisiner, and this Carroll offense. The Chargers offense has been quite productive this season. Gabe Freisiner, 3,148 passing yards on the season, 26 TDs, and only 8 interceptions with a 115.4 quarterback rating. Just obviously very impressive numbers as we wait the kickoff from the man, Nick Beam, who hit a 49-yard field goal back against Carroll. We'll see if he gets any action tonight as the stands in Carroll are erupting. Westfield traveled pretty well, I'd say, given the drive as the kick is off. Back deep to receive at the back of the end zone. And he calls for the fair catch. Out will come Gabe Freisiner and this Carroll offense.
Yeah, and this is where it starts. You get the ball first, and this is how you kind of start your game. You show off what you kind of have, your first drive. If you're Carroll, Westfield got their defense fresh off this bus. They've had about 15 minutes to warm up. So if you're Carroll, you want to get started hot and fast and keep that the whole game.
Yeah, I would start off trying to honestly force it downfield and try to see if you could open up this secondary a little bit, little play action as Gabe Freisiner lines up in the pocket. First and 10 on the 20. They hand it off up the middle. Jackson Rhodes for a minimal gain of 3. Will bring up 2nd and 7 on the Carroll 23.
Yeah, good little run right there to start it off, and now it looks like he'll be in the backfield by himself for a little throwing play.
Yep, 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Freisiner steps back in the pocket, looking, holds on to it, looks over the middle, he hits his man! And you guess who it is? Harrison Shield. And that is a solid pickup. It'll move the chains. We 1st and 10 on the Carroll 38.
He had all day in that pocket. That O-line made lots of room. You kind of saw Alexander Bowles kind of switching around to kind of find his way to the quarterback, but the O-line did a good job at protecting.
Yeah, they handed off up the middle for a gain of about 4. That will bring up 2nd and 6 on the 42. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, or 2 to the right. They almost get him to jump on the front 4 on a hard count. No flag called. Freisiner takes the snap, hands it right back up the middle for a gain of about 4. Bring up 3rd and 4.
Yeah.
3rd and 3.
So far, the run game is working. Alexander Bowles is trying to get to the quarterback, but they're just running it right up the middle.
Yeah, they push tempo. Freisiner looks up the middle, hits his man again. Harrison Shield. It is enough to pick up the first down and move the sticks. It'll be 1st and 10 on the Carroll 49. The Chargers are rolling.
Yeah, they made their way into Rock's territory, and they're doing it pretty fast. So far, the throwing game with this rain has not fazed Carroll.
Short little out route to pick up the first down. As he fakes the handoff, hits his man again. Harrison Shield. Or no, that was actually Jayon Sims. And that'll be a gain of 9. So 2nd and 1 for the Chargers on the 40 of Westfield. And the Chargers, they're pushing tempo here. Trying to catch this team off guard.
Yeah, what I like to see from them.
And they keep it on a quarterback keeper. Freisiner goes up the middle and picks up the first down.
And we saw a lot with Westfield last week of QB runs with Fishers. So if you're kind of Carroll, you knew that kind of Fishers got away in those QB runs. So it could happen again here tonight if they kind of add that into their game plan.
Yeah, Westfield has struggled all season in containing mobile quarterbacks. It'll be 1st and 10 on the 35. Freisiner steps back deep in the pocket, going to keep it himself. Oh, and he makes the catch! Jayon Sims, he's inbounds.
What a catch right there. Kind of over. Alexander Bolus was kind of playing a defender right there.
Yeah, they had that mismatch in coverage. And the Chargers push the tempo. 1st and 10 on the Westfield 21. They hand it up the middle. Who explodes? That's Jackson Rhodes again on the carry. He picks up another 1st down.
Yeah, Westfield, it looks like right now, is not having a good time on defense. They can't really stop that run. He just ran right up the middle and found that gap.
Yeah, this defense is creating big holes, and Jackson Rhodes is able to take control as they fake the quarterback handoff, and he's wrapped up in the backfield by Aaron Bullis. That'll be a loss of about 2. It'll be 2nd down and 12. Under 9 to play in this first quarter. 2nd and 12 on the Westfield 13.
Yeah, Alexander Bolus is coming from the right side and kind of coming around and attacking the quarterback. We saw him try to do that when they handed it off, so he's kind of finding his ways on how to find the quarterback.
Yep, it'll be 2nd down and 12. Freisinger takes the snap, rolls out to his right, looking for the end zone. He fires! Oh, that pass is incomplete. No flags. It'll be 3rd down and 12.
Yeah, a little off-target throw right there. He was going more inside as the wide receiver was outside by the pylon.
Yeah, that was excellent coverage by the Westfield secondary as they avoid disaster in the end zone. Solid play action, but it does not avail.
And you got a 3rd and 12 right here. Got to make it to the 1, which means you either make it to the end zone.
Yeah, play clock under 10. They got to hurry here. Jaden Van Pelt in at the running back position. They hand it off. He fakes it back to Freisinger, who goes off the edge, and he's going to score! Carroll strikes first early in this one. An impressive drive, and they go right down the field and put up 6.
What a trick play right there. If you're Carroll, that couldn't have gone better. You know, you had the defense fake that Van Pelt was running it to the right side, but he found his way to the end zone, and Carroll is up first in this game.
Yeah, and Carroll ran the lateral. And you see this kind of run in NFL offenses. It's a Ben Johnson type of play scheme. As off for the extra point. Kick is blocked! It's blocked by the Westfield special teams unit. But regardless, Carroll takes a 6-0 lead. Do not go anywhere. You are listening to the Westfield Sports Network.
High school sports are different, especially in Indiana, and these Hoosier student athletes couldn't agree more.
We all know the saying, in 49 states, it's just basketball. But this is Indiana.
Well, the same is true for all high school sports in Indiana, like volleyball,
And soccer.
And softball.
And track. And so many more.
We're passionate about high school sports in Indiana.
They're an undeniable part of our state's culture.
They're woven into the DNA of our communities.
It's what we dedicate our time to.
It's what brings us all together.
It's what we celebrate.
And as a high school student athlete, that's a pretty special environment to grow in.
Representing your school and having your entire community behind you.
Being a high school student athlete in Indiana is something we never take for granted.
And it's an experience we'll never forget either.
I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig. Support Hoosier student athletes like these by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events. This is who we are. This is Indiana. This is your IHSAA.
Welcome back to the Westfield Sports Network. We just had the kickoff. Ashton Johnson dropped it, but it fell in the back of the end zone, so it'll be a touchback. And if you were just now joining us, Carroll marched down the length of the field, scored on a lateral, which the play design was a handoff to the receiver, who then flipped it back to the quarterback, who was able to score. So now Westfield's offense will get a chance to tie this one up. And Callie, if you're the Rocks offense, what are you trying to do here?
You know, you're kind of doing the same thing that Carroll just did. It's march down with the speed. You know, Carroll had a great tempo marching down that field. So if you're Westfield, you want to get that started, but you don't want to make any mistakes. You know, they haven't played in rain this season.
Yeah, Cooper Melvin will take the snap for the Rocks. They hand it off to Baylor Connor, who gets a gain of about 5. So that'll bring up 2nd down and 4. So gain of 6 on the Carroll or on the Westfield 26. And Carroll's defensive units likes to utilize a lot of different blitz packages and defensive schemes and attempt to throw off QBs as they have 4 and a 4-2 right now. Melvin drops back, hits Brock Parker, who goes off the edge and plows up the middle to the 35. It's a solid gain and a first down for the Westfield Shamrocks.
Yeah, it's what you need if you're Melvin. The short passes, they're behind him, so even if you don't catch it, you can pick it up and scoop it and keep running. So good job with Brock Parker getting some yards and that first down there.
Yep, under 7:35 to play in this first quarter. 1st and 10 on the Westfield 35. 3 receivers to the right, empty set to the left. Melvin went for a hard count, did not get it. Motions Connor to his left. Play clock under 5. Melvin takes the snap, looking to the sideline to Brock Parker, who's lit up and he fumbles. Gets on top of it and is forced out of bounds. Looks like they're going to rule it incomplete pass.
That was their wide receiver right there, Van Pelt.
Yeah, Van Pelt plays both sides of the ball, and it looks like they're actually going to rule it a fumble. Clock continues to run, so that is a big loss for the Westfield offense. It'll be 2nd and 20. I thought that was an incomplete pass, but either way, 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the empty set to the right. Hands it off to Connor, who goes up the middle, and he's wrapped up. The defense makes a stand.
Yeah, Carroll's defense so far, those first 2 plays, it looks like Westfield had tempo, but right now, Carroll has it on about this 3rd and 18.
Yep, 3rd and 17 for the Shamrocks offense, and not the start they were looking for. That fumble obviously hurt them. The stands are erupting. 3rd and 17 on the Westfield 28. Melvin drops back in the pocket. Looking over the middle to Andrew Noble. That pass is incomplete. Just a little too high. And that will bring up 4th down. Westfield will be forced to punt. If you are not aware, Noah Lee broke his collarbone. Will not be active for the rest of the season. So into punt for the Shamrocks is Colin Knotts. Or no, that's Carter Greenman. Flags up. So that punt is called for a fair catch. Taking it about the 38, but there's a flag on the field.
Carroll's defense did a great job on this last drive, stopping Westfield. And if you can do that all night, it could be a long game for Westfield.
Yeah, that penalty was a legal formation.
No. Okay.
Enforced.
Illegal formation. Westfield, that penalty's declined.
Penalty was declined.
First down, Carroll.
So it'll be a first down for Carroll.
Let's give it to him.
Yeah, and looking at the other semi-state across, we got Brownsburg and Warren Central, and Brownsburg is up 17-0 with 8 minutes left in the second quarter. So it looks like Brownsburg might have this game.
Yeah, and or Warren Central obviously pulled the upset last week against Center Grove.
On the whistle, gentlemen, on the whistle.
Obviously shocked the state, but now they're playing with the big dog, Brownsburg, number 1 in the state. We got 1st and 10. Freisinger hands it off to Jackson Rhodes, who goes up the middle and picks up the first down at about the 48-yard line. Westfield struggling to hit their gaps early on in this one, and Freisinger continuing to push tempo for this Chargers unit. He hands it off again to Rhodes, who's wrapped up at about the line to gain. Maybe a gain of 1, but it looks like he just got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they're going with tempo. The chain gain isn't even ready before that ball was snapped, but that's kind of what I like to see. That kind of wears out Westfield's defense more.
Yep, 2nd down and 9 on the Carroll 49. Freisinger drops back in the pocket, looking over the middle, and he's sacked! You know who? Alex Arambolas brings him down, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 12.
What a play right there for Alex Arambolas. The offensive line did a good job, but he took a little too much time in that pocket. That's when you kind of roll out and see if you have a man downfield.
Yep, 3rd and 12. Freisinger drops back in the pocket, looking over the middle. Oh, it's intercepted! Picked off! and it's out at about the 40, and that was, it looks like that was Reed Dykos, the junior, on the interception. So the Rocks will take over at about the 35-yard, or the 42-yard line.
And that went right in his hands. You know, it hit him in the helmet and then dropped right in his hands.
All right, 1st and 10 on the 42. Melvin hands it off up the middle to Deegan Keene, who gets a gain of about 3. So that'll bring up 2nd down and 7. Under 4:35 to play in this first half.
Yeah, and Westfield's great field position right here. You don't want to give it up.
Two receivers to the left, one to the right. Melvin goes for the hard count. Doesn't get it. Carroll showing pressure. They've got 4 men up. Showing a 4-3 at the moment. Melvin hands it off again to Deegan Keene, who is corralled, but he gets a solid gain of about 5. They'll bring up a 3rd and 2.
Yeah, here we are finally kind of seeing Deacon King on the other side of the ball being a running back. You know, we usually see him on defense, but now he's back kind of with switching off with Baylor Connor.
Yeah, Deegan Keene now taking reps at running back again. I'm sure Baylor Connor will get some reps here tonight as well.
Yeah, we see Baylor Connor kind of out wide as kind of a wide receiver.
Yep, they hand it off to Keene again, who goes right up the middle and many more and picks up the 1st down at about the 26-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 on the 26 of Carroll. Westfield driving, 3:25 to play in this first quarter. Still trailing Carroll 6-0. Looking to the sidelines as they now line up. Keene in the backfield, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Melvin still in a quarterback. He takes the snap, drops back in the pockets. Got to get rid of it fast. Pressure coming. Looking for Andrew Noble. Incomplete. Tried to hit Noble in the end zone on a fly route. Was pretty well covered.
It's pretty well covered, and that was about 5 yards, a little too much overthrown in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, but I'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Rocks. Still on the 26. Aiden Grabowski enters the game at QB for the Rocks. Grabowski. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 1 to the right. He pitches it off to Deegan Keene, who goes off tackle and gets a solid gain of about 7, as it'll bring up 3rd and about 3. It'll actually be 3rd and 4 on the Carroll 20. Inside 2:45 to play in this first quarter.
So far, this is a better drive for Westfield. They're moving their chains down the field.
Yep, Grabowski is just going to hand it off to Deegan Keene, who appears to be a little bit short.
They'll give it to him.
No, they're going to give it to him. All right, it'll be 1st and 10.
And this rain just keeps coming down, and it doesn't look like it's stopping, so it will be a rainy game.
Yeah, expecting a lot of ground and pound here tonight. Old school. As they motion Parker, they pitch it to him, who goes off the left tackle and forces his way up for a solid gain of about 7. And Brock Parker already getting a lot of reps tonight. They pitch it to him on a little jet sweep action. That'll bring up 2nd and 3 on the Carroll 9. Under 2 minutes to play, 1:48 to be exact in this first quarter. 1 receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Grabowski takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself. Goes up the middle and gets a big push from his O-line. He's wrapped up inside the 5, and that'll be a big 1st down for the Shamrocks.
Yeah, and this is where they struggled last week in the red zone. So can they do it? They have about 3 yards to go.
Yep, 1st and goal on the 3, and you're right, where red zone efficiency has been an issue But we'll see how they handle this. 1:25 to play in this first half. First and goal on the 2. Grabowski's going to keep it himself. Rolls off the tackle. Pushes his way in, and he is in! Aiden Grabowski plunges his way into the end zone. Westfield scores!
Holding.
And here's their
Westfield.
chance. They can go up. Oh, it would. We got a holding call on Westfield.
Wow.
So
Wow,
that will bring them
sets
back.
They called it at the very end, a late flag. Interesting call there, but that hurts as Westfield is backed up to the 12.
Now what you want right there after that touchdown for Grabowski. Now they got to do it all again.
Yep, the touchdown gets taken off the board after a late hold on the Rocks. As Deacon Keene re-enters the game for the Shamrocks. Grabowski still in at quarterback.
We've been seeing more of Grabowski than Melvin. They like to kind of switch, as we see a lot during just a drive.
Yep, first and goal now on the 12. Grabowski takes the snap, hands it off to Deacon Keene, who goes off tackle, forces his way inside the 5, down at about the 4-yard line. So a solid pickup for the Rocks.
Yeah, Deacon King, he's a strong guy and can shed those tacklers. So if you're kind of Carroll, you have to grab onto him and not let him break those tackles because he will do that easily if you give him even like an inch of room.
Yep, second and goal on the 5, under 45 seconds to play in this first quarter. They motion Connor to the right, and they hand it off to Deacon Keene again, goes up the middle, pushes his way forward. Going to be a little bit short, just about I don't want to say an inch, maybe a yard at the most, but it'll be third and goal on the 1. 25 seconds, the play clock's at 30. It'll be interesting to see if they run a play here or if they elect to just drain this down.
Carroll is loud here. They want them to stop. These are the drives that everybody wants, and it looks like they might be lining up for it.
Yeah, they line up. Will they run a play? Grabowski takes the snap, goes inside, and he pushes his way in. Touchdown, Westfield. This time, it's for real. Westfield ties it as we await the extra point from Diego Herrera. Westfield marches down the length of the field, 1 second to play in the first quarter.
Yeah, that interception right there, it landed in his hands, and it turned up into a touchdown after kind of it looked like Carroll had the momentum.
Diego Herrera in to kick the extra point for the Rocks. Kick is up, and it's right down the middle. Westfield takes a 7-6 lead over the Carroll Chargers. Do not go anywhere. You are listening to the Westfield Sports Network.
There's nothing like playing high school football under the Friday night lights. It's where we play for the love of the game.
To have fun with our friends, with the whole town supporting us.
To battle our greatest rivals with teammates we've grown up with.
To huddle up and have each other's backs, no matter what. Because we believe in each other and want to succeed for our teammates even more than ourselves.
11 guys fighting together for every yard, every down, every touchdown to make our school proud.
There's something special about playing for our hometown that we'll never forget, that we'll miss when it's gone.
When the stands are full and the lights are shining bright, the crowd can't get any louder.
And it just doesn't get any better than this.
I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig, celebrating the purity of high school sports by buying a ticket to your high school's next football game. This is for the love of the game. This is making your hometown proud. This is your IHSAA.
Welcome back to the Westfield Sports Network. Nick Beam set to kick off for the Rocks after they went down, scored. They now lead 7-6 over the Chargers. So Nick Beam's kick is off, fielded back in the end of the end zone, called for a fair catch. So with 1 second to work with in the first quarter, out comes Gabe Freisinger, who had a really strong first drive. The second drive, well, it was a little bit of a struggle bus. What do you expect to see on this drive?
Yeah, the second drive was going great. He had to get rid of the ball. It was a third down. Couldn't quite find that wide receiver a little too overthrown over the head. But I think if they keep doing that thing, you erase what just happened that last drive. If you keep that in the back of your head, I just threw an interception, you're going to make more mistakes. So you got to kind of do it like it's your second drive all over again.
100% agree, as Carroll has a little bit of the wing T look. 2 running backs in the backfield. They hand it off to Rhodes, who goes up the middle for only a gain of about 2. So it'll be 2nd and 8. But that is the end of the first quarter. Westfield leading Carroll 7-6. Do not go anywhere. You are listening to the Westfield Sports Network.
My days of playing basketball for North Posey High School are still some of my favorite memories. Years later, I can still remember the feeling of wearing my Vikings jersey proudly and representing my community. I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig, and these student athletes know how that feels.
It's an honor to represent my school and wear their name, to have the entire community rooting for my success, to contribute to my school's legacy and all the student athletes who came before me. I'm Josie Campbell, and I'm a proud Brownsburg Bulldog.
Playing high school sports gives me a sense of ownership in my school. I get the chance to have a positive impact on my school's reputation, to help carry out our traditions, and to be the best person and player I can be. I'm Jet Wolfley, and I'm a proud Terre Haute North Patriot.
Demonstrate your pride by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events. This is promoting school spirit. This is making your community proud. This is your IHSAA.
All right. To the Westfield Sports Network, 1st and 10. Freisiner drops in the pocket, hits his man Harrison Shield right over the middle for a solid gain, and he gets him about the 38-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10.
Harrison seems to be open every time they target him. He's got that first down. And we saw him a lot targeted that first drive, and that's how they ended up marching down the field so fast.
Yeah, they hit him on a quick slant over the middle. And I think Westfield's probably so focused on Jaden Van Pelt. Obviously, they know what he can do.
They got Kato June on him.
Yep, 1st and 10 on the 38. Motions Shield back to the right. Freisiner drops back in the pocket. He's got to get rid of it fast. It's a running back screen. And Rhodes gets a solid gain of about 9, really close to the first down. And it looks like they're going to give it to him. And moves the chains again. And Carroll, they really like, or no, it will not. It'll be 2nd and 1. And Carroll, they really like to push tempo on Westfield, pushing the pace, fast schemes, all of that. But 2nd and 1 on the Carroll 47. Quarterback keeper up the middle, and he got to the line. Are they going to give it to him?
They will.
They will. Move the chains. 1st and 10. Carroll at the 48-yard line.
Yeah, and we'll look at Brownsburg real quick. They're up 24 overs for Warren Central. I think this game's kind of out of reach. I think we'll see Brownsburg in state. They have 2 more quarters to go. But
yeah, looks like they're already starting to put him away as Freisiner hits his man on an out route. Once again, Harrison Shield picks up a gain of about 6, maybe 7. No pun intended. 2nd and 3 on the 45-yard line.
Yeah, Carroll's doing a good job right now. They've wasted 2 minutes, and they're being efficient with the time, too.
Yes, they are. As they motion Shield back to the left. Freisiner fakes the handoff. He's going to try to keep it with his legs. Makes a man miss and goes down. He'll actually lose yards on that one, as that'll bring up 3rd and 3. Okay, he gets back to the line. They're going to call him at the line of scrimmage, I believe. 3rd and 3 on the 45. 3rd and 3 on the 45, under 10 minutes to play, under 9:50 to play in this first half. He motions Rhodes to the left. Westfield in a 3-4 defensive outlook. They bring the man up. Freisiner drops back in the pocket, looking deep for Vanderpletz, who makes the catch. Cato June in coverage. Van Pelt makes the play, and that's a big pickup for the Carroll Chargers. Expect to hear that name a lot tonight, Jaden Van Pelt.
What a play. He came back for the ball. It was underthrown. He came back, and he still made that play on that 3rd and 5 to make it a first down.
Yep, 1st and 10 on the 24. Freisinger fakes the handoff, and he's brought down. Alex Arambolas gets him for a gain, but he's still picks up about 1 yard. So second down and 9 for Carroll as Freisinger drops back in the pocket. Looking over the middle. Got him in. He makes the catch. Carroll takes the lead again. 12-7. What a catch. And what a throw by Gabe Freisinger.
Sims, he jumped for that. He had the hops, and he came down with it. That's an impressive catch. We don't see that a lot kind of in college being caught. And he caught that. What an impressive play right there.
Jayon Sims makes a phenomenal play. They're going to stay out there, just go for 2, make it 14-7 if they get it. Freisinger in the pocket, 2 receivers to the left, Rhodes in the backfield, who takes the snap and hands it off. They go up the middle, pitch it to the end zone. What a play. They draw up a pitch in the end zone. And now Carroll takes a 14-7 lead over the Rocks. Do not go anywhere. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network.
As more club and travel sports pop up every year, they often muddy the waters on what the purpose of sports should be for student athletes at this age.
But high school sports are different.
It's not about becoming the best athletes, it's about becoming the best people.
It's not about scholarships, it's about coaches mentoring you, camaraderie with your teammates, and the connection you build with your school community.
It's not about year-round training. It's about developing resilience, responsibility, and a strong work ethic for life.
It's not about what am I going to get out of this, it's about playing for something bigger than yourself, for your team, your school, and your entire community.
High school sports help us grow in ways that will serve us for the rest of our lives, not just in the game.
I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig. Support what makes education-based athletics different by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events. This is developing students as people. This is fulfilling a greater purpose. This is your IHSAA.
Welcome back to the Westfield Sports Network. Carroll capped off a successful drive in the end zone and going for 2.
They did that Carmel OT when Gerbas kind of hopped over and pitched it to his man. So Carroll's doing a fantastic job marching down the field.
Yeah, they're doing a great job moving the sticks, and that play call going for 2 was very interesting. They had the running back take the snap, hand it off to the quarterback, and they pitched it in the end zone. Absolutely love that play call. 1st and 10 on the 20 for Westfield. Cooper Melvin back in at quarterback. He takes the snap, drops deep back in the pocket, hits his man, and that ball looked like it hit the ground. They called a catch. It was Caleb Darts, but they do call it a catch. It looked like it touched the ground, but they're going to call it a catch. They do end up calling it incomplete. As the play clock stopped, it looks like there's some confusion on the field.
Yeah, it looked like that ball hit the ground, but they're saying it's 2nd and 6.
Yeah, so they do end up ruling a catch. It looked like that hit the ground, but there was an injured man on the field. It's Jaded. Actually, that's not. We don't have a number for that, but it'll be 2nd and 6 on the Westfield 24. 3 receivers to the left, empty set to the right. Melvin drops back in the pocket, hands it off to Caden Snow. Or no, it's Baylor Connor who's wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. He loses yards on that play.
What a tackle right there. That was a tackle, kind of going for the knee shot, and he tackled Baylor Connor before he could advance. And that's a 3rd and 8 now.
Yep, 3rd and 8 on the Westfield 22. They lose 2 on that play. 3 receivers to the right, empty set to the left. Melvin drops back in the pocket, rolls out to his right. Looking, he's got to get rid of it. Fires downfield, way overthrown, incomplete. And now Westfield will be forced to punt on 4th and 8. Special teams comes back out for the Rocks.
Carroll's defense. What a defense. Westfield probably hasn't played against a defense like this in a long time. They're coming after Melvin and forcing him to make those throws, and he's just overthrowing. It is raining, so it could just be slipping off his hands a little bit, but Carroll's defense is on top right now. If they continue like this, it could be a long game for Westfield offense.
Yeah, Jaden Van Pelt back deep to receive. As the punt is away, it's almost blocked. It looks like they got a tip on it. And that punt will roll past the 50, past the 45, inside the 45. So Carroll will start their drive with pretty good field position. But do not go anywhere. You are listening to the Westfield Sports Network. Welcome back to the Westfield Sports Network. 1st and 10 on the Carroll 44 for the Chargers. As Freisinger takes a snap up the middle on a quarterback keeper, he's brought down for a gain of about 2, maybe 3. Ball was forced out, but they're going to rule him down. So they'll bring up 2nd and 6, so actually a gain of 4.
Yeah, this is when ball security matters. The ball's wet. You're trying to switch it out in between plays, but the rain is just coming down here in Fort Wayne right now.
Yeah, we'll see how that affects the passing game as they hand it off to Rhodes, who goes off tackle, but he's wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. And he might be able to gain a yard, but looks to be 3rd and 4 for the Chargers. 6:30 to play in this first half. Freisinger almost got him made the jump. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Rhodes in the backfield. Drops back in the pocket. Looking around, he slips. They pick it up. Harrison Shaley again. Oh, he fumbles! Westfield has a hold of it. Will they call it? They call him. Oh, they call it a fumble. Westfield recovers. And now they will take over. I think Carroll thought he was down, but they call it Westfield ball. So now the defense will come back, or the offense will come back out for the Shamrocks. And Harrison Shaley fumbles on a critical down.
Yeah, that was critical. Trying to watch the replay a little bit, but it kind of looked like he was down. So, but you can't. You're in high school. You can't sit here and review that play. And Westfield's defense is coming up strong. They had an interception and then now a fumble.
Yeah, and I think what the ref was trying to argue was that the ball was already loose before that knee came down or was already moving. But regardless, 1st and 10 on the 27 for Westfield. Melvin drops back in the pocket, looking across the middle, and that ball's overthrown once again. And we've seen that a lot tonight. A little bit of accuracy issues. Probably the wet ball is definitely playing a factor in that. But it'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, you're releasing it a little too early. And look at the replay. He did start juggling it before he was down. So the ref made a good call right there.
Yep, 3 receivers to the right, empty set to the left. Melvin takes the snap, hands it off to Deegan Kane, who goes up the middle for a solid gain of about 6. So that will bring up 3rd and 3, so a gain of actually about 7 yards. And it's interesting. Melvin's take been, apart from that one drive, Melvin is who they are keeping in at quarterback. And you would think in a, so actually Grabowski will come in now. But like I was about to say, in a game where it's wet, it's field and the turf is wet, the ball is wet, you want to stick to your running or your rushing attack. And Grabowski is a quarterback who definitely favors that ability in this offense. As they motion 3 receivers to the right, Grabowski's going to try and take it up the middle. Does he have enough? It looks like he had enough to get the first down, and he does. They move the sticks, 1st and 10 at the 38. Play clock continuing to run. 5:05 to play in this first half, and Westfield moves the sticks.
Yeah, and we see, the balls are being overthrown for Westfield, so they're saying the run game is working a little bit, so they're going to keep it, especially with Deacon Key in the backfield.
Yep. 3 receivers to the right, empty step to the left. They hand it off to Deacon Keen again, who goes up the middle. Makes a man miss. Does he have enough for the first down? Looks like he does. Deacon Keen picks up the first down again. Ball be at the 48-yard line, 1st and 10. 4:35 to play in this first half. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, or 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Grabowski looks to the sidelines. Deacon Keen in the backfield. The stands are erupting in Carroll. Packed house on the home side. Westfield traveled pretty well as Grabowski will fake the handoff. Makes a man miss. Almost took a loss, but he somehow forces his way up the middle for a gain of about 4, maybe 3.
Yeah,
2nd and 7.
That was good for him. He got out of pressure. It looked like he was about to be brought down 2 yards beyond the gain, and he avoided that. And that's what makes him a strong quarterback, too, is he has the power to push people off of him.
Yeah, he shreds the sack. 3 receivers to the left. They hand it off, but they keep it this time to Grabowski, who forces his way up the middle for a solid pickup, and it'll be a first down for the Shamrocks. Aiden Grabowski making things happen with his legs. It'll be 1st and 10 on the 37. 3:40 to play in this first half.
Yeah, Grabowski using his legs a lot tonight. If you're Carroll, you might want to tack on a little bit that he likes to run. You have him and Deacon King in the backfield, and we've not seen many passes from Grabowski. It's usually Melvin that does the passes, so that might be a thing if you're Carroll's kind of defensive coordinator to keep an eye on that.
Yep, Keen in the backfield, empty set to the left, 2 receivers to the right. Grabowski still in a quarterback. He takes the snap, keep it again himself, who goes up. He goes off tackle and gets a solid pickup of about 6 yards. That'll actually be 5, 2nd and 5 on the 32 of Carroll.
So far, they're doing a good job. They're at the 32-yard line. So if they're doing a good job, but when they make those defensive turnovers, they make their way to the end zone.
Yeah. And they hand it off again to Deacon Keen, who goes off tackle, plows his way up the middle. Deacon Keen inside the 5. Touchdown, Westfield. There's actually a flag on the play. It looks like this one will actually
Westfield,
come back.
10 yards,
holding on
foul.
Westfield.
Another touchdown brought back because of holding. That's something for Westfield you need to fix. You've had 2 great touchdowns, but one silly mistake, you have to know when to let go. You can't be holding them, so that will push them back after that huge run by Deacon King.
Foul, 10 yards.
Yep,
Repeat,
penalties
second down.
are drive killers, and that's definitely a drive killer for sure. As that'll bring up 2nd and 15 instead of 2nd and 5. So Westfield gets forced back all the way to the 30, looks to be about the 32-yard line.
Yeah. And now we see Deacon King taking a break, and we'll see Baylor Connor in.
Yeah, Baylor Connor back in at running back. They motions his man to the left. They fake the jet sweep. Grabowski looking deep in the pocket. Nobody's there. He just tosses a check down on the sidelines. Makes a man miss.
he had Baylor Connor. If he had a little more time free in the pocket, he could have found Baylor Connor wide open in the end zone.
Yeah, he hit Henry Everett's on that one, but he's a little bit short of the line to gain. But like you said, Cal, he had a man downfield. I think the pocket was just collapsing on him. He had to roll out and get rid of it. But 3rd down and 2 on the 29. Grabowski takes the snap, hands it off to Baylor Connor, who goes up the middle, forces his way forward. Does he have enough? He does. They move the sticks. 1st down for the Shamrocks on the Carroll 26. 2:21 to play in this first half. And I think if you're Westfield, you just want to kill as much clock as you can. You get the ball to start the second half as well. Do not give Carroll's offense, who has given you problems all first half, an opportunity to score. I'll be interested to see if Carroll calls a couple timeouts, tries to get the ball back before halftime. But we shall see. 2:05 to play. Grabowski takes the snap, hands it off to Baylor Connor, who goes up the middle. He's corralled, but he gets a solid gain of about 5.
Yeah, Carroll right now missing some key tackles. If they get those tackles, he could be brought down, but Baylor Connor's kind of just bouncing off that tackle and pushing the defender down, and then he's getting 2 more yards off of that. So if you're Carroll, you need to make sure you wrap those tackles up.
Yep, 2nd down and 4. Grabowski goes for a hard count, doesn't get it. 2 receivers to the left, 1 empty set to the right. Connor in at the back, running back position. Under 1:30 to play in this first half. Grabowski takes the snap, looks over the middle. He hits his man. Caleb darts right in the hands, but he drops it. But we're up 3rd and 4. Starting to see the effects of a slippery ball given the conditions here in Fort Wayne.
Yeah, and they just switched the ball out right there. He said, give me a new ball. You know, the ball boys over there trying to keep the ball as dry as possible, but even 5 seconds by the time you're even waiting for the snap, it's already soaked.
Yeah, it's the second that ball touches the turf, it's already pretty much toast, as it's 3rd and 4 on the 20. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Grabowski alone in the pocket, motions his man. Fakes the jet sweep, he's going to go up the middle. Grabowski, does he have enough? It looks like he does. It'll continue to move the sticks. Deegan Keene checks back in for the Rocks. 1st and 10 on the Carroll 14.
Yeah, but your clock is ticking. You have 1 minute and 7 seconds left in this second quarter.
Yep, 3. Still have their 3 timeouts, though. Grabowski will hand it off to Deegan Keene, who's wrapped up at about the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of 1. I would think if you're Westfield, you might call a timeout here, but clock continues to roll. Timeout is called by Coach Miracle.
Timeout.
That gives Westfield a chance to talk this one over.
Timeout.
Yeah, you got 45 seconds on a second, and it looks like 10. He didn't get a yard there. So if you're Westfield, this is where you need a score here. You know, Carroll's doing a fantastic job. You know, they made 2 mistakes, and that's what's costing them right now. So maybe during halftime, they might think, let's keep it more on the ground. But their throwing game is working. You know, the ball is wet. You're going to make mistakes here and there. But if you're Westfield, this halftime could be crucial for your defense.
Yeah, they're about 14 yards out from the end zone, so I'll be interested to see if they play more conservative and just try and take the points. But I would think, when you think catching's hard, try kicking with a wet ball. It's not easy, very slippery. So I'll be interested to see if they go for the gamble and try and put it in the end zone, or if they play more conservative with continuing to hand the ball off, which not saying that won't make them score, but just it's a more laid-back approach.
Yeah, we know Miracle likes to gamble, especially we saw that Carmel game. They could have took the field goal. He went for it, so he's not scared of it. He knows.
No, not at all. And back comes Aiden Grabowski in the Westfield offense. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Deegan Keene in the backfield. 45 seconds to play in this first half. Grabowski motions Parker, fakes the handoff, rolls out, hits his man Deegan Keene, who rolls out, and he's forced inside the 10 at about the 7. 38 seconds left on the play clock. They'll bring up 3rd and 2. They're about 6 yards out from the end zone.
Yeah, Deacon King, impressively, he knows how to play defense. So when he's out there, he knows how to find the field, especially on offense, being a wide receiver.
Yep, 3rd and 2, 38 seconds to play. Grabowski takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself. Is corralled, but he gets a push. Looks to be a little short. So decision time for the Rocks offense. Looks like they're staying out on the field at the moment, but they do end up picking up the first down. They give it to them. So timeout on the field, about 4 yards out from the end zone.
Timeout, Westfield.
It's Westfield's second timeout. They have one more left. It's 1st and goal on the 4. 31 seconds left. And Callie, if you're Westfield, do you think you continue to run it, or do you think they get a little aggressive and try what they did against Carroll with a little pitch in the end zone?
I think you have 31 seconds left. You have one timeout. I'd attempt maybe your first down play being a passing play or kind of a pitch, because you kind of want to find the outside too. So if you're running or you do a little short pass out, you don't want to make a mistake and cause you to use that timeout right away.
Yeah, and they're still about 4 yards out from the end zone, so they're not necessarily extremely close. And I guess maybe you could try and just force it in, run it 1 or 2 plays, force it in, run the clock out, so they don't give Carroll and this highly explosive Carroll offense led by Gabe Freisinger the chance to score. But like you said, you could get a little aggressive here and just attempt for 6 the pass, but we shall see. 1st and goal on the 4, 31 seconds to play in this first half. Grabowski in at quarterback. 1 receiver to the left, 1 to the right. Kane in the backfield. They hand it off to him. And he gets a solid push, and he's pushed. Does he have enough? He's going to be a little short. Clock's continuing to roll. Miracle calls his final timeout. Timeout Westfield. They get this ball to about, looks to be on.
Timeout Westfield.
1.
Please put 20 seconds on the clock. 20 seconds on the clock.
There will be 20 seconds on the clock. They'll add 7 seconds on the clock, which is good. That gives you extra time, but you have no timeouts now. So this is when you have a play and you got to get back on the line if you miss the run and kind of spike that ball.
Yeah, 20 seconds to play. The ball's actually on the 2. My thought process is, well, it's one of 2 things. I guess you could attempt to pass, little out route, create separation between this receiver and the DB, try to force it in there. It's very risky, though. Or you could try and run it up the middle or outside, whatever, and if you don't get that, hurry back to the line and try one more play, or hurry back to the line and spike it and just kick the field goal. One of the 2.
Yeah, I think what Miracle's probably thinking is he doesn't want a field goal here. He wants to go into halftime with a tie game because that's basically a 0-0 start, fresh start. But it's all going to come down to what they do with these last 20 seconds.
Yep, Aiden Grabowski still in at quarterback for the Rocks. 20 seconds to play. Empty set to the left, 2 receivers to the right. Keane in the backfield. Grabowski takes the snap, forces it up to Keane, who plows his way, and he is in. Westfield scores. 17 seconds left in this first half. They march down the field. Deegan Keane powers it up the middle, 14-13 with the chance to tie this game.
And that's what you want if you're Westfield. Go into halftime with a better score, because you get the ball right back so you can take the lead.
Yeah, Diego Herrera back out to kick the extra point for the Shamrocks. Kick is up, it's tipped, but it goes right through. Westfield ties this one 14-14. 17 seconds to play in this first half. Do not go anywhere. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network.
High school sports have a unique way of setting the tone for our entire school community. How? By demanding our very best, no matter who we are.
Every student, coach, parent, and fan has a responsibility to practice good sportsmanship at athletic events. It's on each of us to lead by example with our behavior.
The way we behave is not only a reflection of our own character, but of our schools as well. It lets everyone know this is how we do things at our school. This is what we expect. This is who we are.
So, whether you're playing, coaching, or cheering, always demonstrate integrity with your words, actions, and attitudes at our athletic events. Our school's image is up to us.
I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig. Help set the tone by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events. This is leading by example. This is leaving a positive impression. This is your IHSAA.
Welcome back to the Westfield Sports Network. If you're just now joining us, Westfield just scored and tied this one back up as Nick Beams out to kick this one off. Kick is away. It's a short kick. Fielded about the 25. He gets on top of it. 16 seconds to play. And out comes Gabe Freisinger and this highly explosive Carroll offense. And Callie, do you think they just kneel it out, or do you think they try and one more play, try to kick a field goal? I mean, they have all 3 timeouts, 16 seconds left. What are you thinking here?
I expect, the deep passes have been working. I expect maybe a deep pass here.
I would agree.
They have the wide receivers for it. As long as they hold on to the ball when they're being tackled and they can make it to the 30, 40-yard line, you could kick a field goal.
Out comes Gabe Freisinger in this Carroll offense. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. They just keep it and take it up the middle. Freisinger is brought down at about the 31. Clock will just continue to run. It looks like they're going to let it run to halftime. So that will do it for the first half. All tied up in semi-state. Do not go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a phenomenal game and a phenomenal second half in store for you. You are listening to the Westfield Sports Network. This broadcast is copyrighted by the Indiana High Schools Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, videos, and audio without the express written permission of the IHSAA is prohibited.
High school sports are different, especially in Indiana, and these Hoosier student athletes couldn't agree more.
We all know the saying, in 49 states, it's just basketball, but this is Indiana.
Well, the same is true for all high school sports in Indiana, like volleyball,
and soccer,
and softball,
and track, and so many more.
We're passionate about high school sports in Indiana.
They're an undeniable part of our state's culture.
They're woven into the DNA of our communities.
It's what we dedicate our time to.
It's what brings us all together.
It's what we celebrate.
And as a high school student athlete, that's a pretty special environment to grow in.
Representing your school and having your entire community behind you.
Being a high school student athlete in Indiana is something we never take for granted.
And it's an experience we'll never forget either.
I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig. Support Hoosier student athletes like these by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events. This is who we are. This is Indiana. This is your IHSAA.
Welcome back to the Westfield Sports Network. All tied at the start of the third quarter. Westfield will receive. And for Westfield, looking to take the lead for the first time since the start of the second quarter. Kick is up. Back deep to receive is Ashton Johnston. He takes it past the 10, and he's wrapped up at about the 20. Maybe the 19. But out comes the Westfield offense. Cooper Melvin appears to be the quarterback who will start this drive for the Shamrocks. Typically when Cooper Melvin is in, it means they're looking to establish their passing attack.
Yeah, and I think that's something they haven't established yet. You know, we've seen maybe one completion this whole game. Most of the balls have been overthrown. So we'll kind of see if Melvin can get his kind of hands right. You know, it's raining. You have to release it at the right time for it to be on target.
Yeah, he's putting good speed on it, just a little overthrown as he rolls out, hits his man Brock Parker for a gain of about 3. He'll be second down and 7 on the Carroll 23.
Yeah, and this is when, if you establish your run game, it could be good. This is when you want to establish it right at the third quarter. You know, you got 24 minutes left to go in this game.
24 minutes and a trip to Lucas Oil on the line. Connor in at the running back position. 3 receivers to the left, empty set to the right. Melvin's going to keep it himself on a quarterback keeper. He goes off the edge. Cooper Melvin! And he runs past the 45 for a big pickup on the quarterback keeper. The 1st and 10 for the Shamrocks.
Melvin has that explosive speed. You know, we always like Grabowski will run it, but Melvin has the speed to run it. And he had a big run in Fishers to give him a touchdown to put him up. So this is what Melvin is good at, too. You can't just say Grabowski's a running quarterback.
Yeah, Grabowski back in at quarterback for the Shamrocks. He takes it up the middle, and he's wrapped up right away. Gain of about 2. 2nd and 8 for the Shamrocks. And I think if I were Crown Point, the best way to sort of kill Westfield's rushing attack is, I think, contain Aiden Grabowski, because if you have to make them rely solely on their backs, you can contain him. But Aiden Grabowski is such a difficult quarterback to deal with, as Aiden Grabowski takes the quarterback keeper for a gain of about 5.
Yeah, Carroll's defense had a good start their first drive, stopping Westfield's offense. And so far, they've just kind of missed those tackles on Grabowski and King. You know, they get first contact, but Grabowski breaks up that first contact, and it takes 1 or 2 men to finally get him down.
Yep, Grabowski's in the pocket, 3 receivers to the left, empty set to the right. Connor lines up behind him in the backfield. 3rd down and 3 on the Westfield 49. Grabowski takes the snap, going to keep it himself, pitches it to Connor, who gets the first down and many more. He's brought down right at about the 40. An excellent play design, a little running back toss off the edge, and it is enough to hit the first down and move those sticks.
Yeah, and that's what they needed. You know, it looked like Grabowski, so everyone's going to Grabowski, but Baylor Connor was just wide open on the right side of the field, and he got that first down and about 5 after that.
Yeah, Grabowski got the linebackers to bite on him running, freeing up Connor in the backfield. This time Deacon Keen's in. They fake the handoff, hit Caden Baylor Connor, but he drops it. Incomplete pass. You continue to see the effects of a slippery ball, as that's the 3rd dropped pass for the Shamrocks tonight. Yep. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, you know, you got to haul it in. It doesn't matter. This rain, you know, your gloves are slick, so it's you're kind of playing, and it's kind of just going to catch it and bring it to your body as fast as you can.
2nd and 10. They got someone to jump off sides. There's no flag, however. 2 receivers to the left, empty set to the right. Grabowski takes the snap, looks over the middle, hits Caden Snow! He picks up the first down. And Caden Snow, on the topic of Caden Snow, he got an offer from Tennessee, only a freshman, just continuing to do big things for this program. And he makes a man miss and picks up the first down on a slant, 1st and 10. Two receivers to the left, empty set to the right. Ball on the 29 of Carroll. Grabowski takes the snap, hands it off to Deegan Keene, who goes up the middle, tries to bounce off to the edge, and he's wrapped up for a gain of about 2. Under 10 minutes to play, 9:52 to be exact. 2nd and 7 for the Westfield offense. And I think if I were Westfield, I would try to take as much time off the clock as possible, limit Crown Point's opportunities. But the thing that's hard about Crown Point is just how fast they push the pace, tempo offense. Grabowski rolls out to his left, hits his man, Andrew Noble, who makes a man miss, still working, and he's brought down. And that will be enough to move the chains. 1st and 10 on the Carroll 17.
Yeah, Westfield's doing a phenomenal job marching down this field. You know, we kind of thought Carroll's defense could stop them, but right now they just can't.
1st and 10 on the Carroll 17. Grabowski pitches it to Deegan Keene, who makes a man miss. He tries to go off the edge, and he's hit hard. Gain of about 3. Jaden Van Pelt substitutes back in for Carroll as there's an injured man on the field for Carroll. We'll take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Westfield Sports Network. Welcome back to the Westfield Sports Network. 2nd down and 8 for the Shamrocks. 8:55 to go in this 3rd quarter. Clock rolling. Grabowski went for the hard count, does not get it. Carroll brings 4 up. 3 linebackers in the backfield. They hand it off to Deegan Keene, who gets a solid pickup, bounces off the edge. And that'll bring up 3rd and short. 3rd and 3 to be exact.
And this is where Westfield succeeds, especially on the quarterback run with Grabowski on these 3rd and short. You know, he knows how to get those 2 yards because Carroll's defensive line can't stop Grabowski when he rolls out.
Yep, 3rd and 3 on the Carroll 10. 8:12 to play in this 3rd quarter. He motions Keene to his left. Play clock at 8. Grabowski takes the snap, looking, hits his man. It's Baylor Connor. Hits him at about the 5, but regardless, it'll be 1st and goal on the 5.
Yeah, Baylor Connor was wide open right there, and Grabowski had a nice little bullet pass to him before a defender could reach him, and they're in red zone territory now.
Yeah, motioning his running back on a little out route. 1 receiver to the left. He motions 2 tight ends to the left. Grabowski hands it off to Deegan Keene, who plows his way up the middle. Does he get in? He does. Touchdown, Westfield. Deegan Keene powers his way into the end zone. His 2nd rushing touchdown tonight. 7:51 to play in this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, Westfield's offense kind of got it going now. You know, Carroll looked like to be stopping him, but Westfield, this could get ugly if Westfield continues down this path with Carroll's defense not being able to stop them. They just need to, if you're Carroll, you just need to wrap up on your tackles. You know, Deacon King's a strong guy, and he'll push people out of the way, and that's how he gets the end zone so efficiently.
Yep, Diego Herrera's extra point is good. Westfield takes a 21-14 lead over Carroll. 7:51 to go in this 3rd quarter. Do not go anywhere. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network.
High school sports are different, especially in Indiana, and these Hoosier student athletes couldn't agree more.
We all know the saying, in 49 states, it's just basketball. But this is Indiana.
Well, the same is true for all high school sports in Indiana, like volleyball,
and soccer,
and softball,
and track, and so many more.
We're passionate about high school sports in Indiana.
They're an undeniable part of our state's culture.
They're woven into the DNA of our communities.
It's what we dedicate our time to.
It's what brings us all together.
It's what we celebrate.
And as a high school student athlete, that's a pretty special environment to grow in.
Representing your school and having your entire community behind you.
Being a high school student athlete in Indiana is something we never take for granted.
And it's an experience we'll never forget either.
I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig. Support Hoosier student athletes like these by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events. This is who we are. This is Indiana. This is your IHSAA.
Welcome back to the Westfield Sports Network. If you're just now joining us, Westfield marched down the length of the field, scored on their opening drive in this third quarter as Nick Beam kicks it off to Carroll. It's taken by Shaley, who bounces off the edge. It's actually Jayon Sims.
And that's a good field position around the 31-yard line, or 30. They'll give it to him. So 10 more yards if they would have let it go to the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah, and if you're the Westfield defense, they've had some issues tonight. Carroll has had some very explosive plays opening up that secondary. Callie, what do you think they need to do, and what do you think the prep talk was the halftime adjustments that were talked about in the locker room?
Yeah, stopping those out routes. You know, we see their wide receiver is targeted, and they're wide open, so it's kind of stopping that.
Yeah, and they handed off to Jackson Rhodes, and he's jumped on by 3 different defenders of the front 4 for Westfield. Just makes it back to the line to gain, 2nd down and 10 on the 29 for Carroll. Alex Arambula off the edge, looking to accumulate some pressure as Fry Sr. drops back in the pocket, going to try and keep it himself. That pass is tipped and incomplete. Going to bring up 3rd down and 10. Had the right idea, was dancing around the pocket, trying to work some magic. Had his man Harrison Shaley on the out route, but
yeah, and he almost could have kept that 2 and ran with it and got some more positive yards too. So kind of an interesting play call, but he almost had his man.
Yep, 3rd down and 10. Can the Rocks defense get off the field? A 3-4 look. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Fry Sr. drops back in the pocket, looking across the middle, and he hits his man. They continue to open up this Westfield secondary. Jayon Sims with the catch. It'll be 1st and 10 on the Carroll 43. 7:05 to play in this third quarter. The Chargers are driving here once again. Fry Sr. takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself up the middle. He's wrapped up, and it actually forced back, but it looks like they'll give him his forward progress. So that'll bring up 2nd down and 7. He actually gains 3. Second and 7 on the Carroll 46. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right, 1 man in the backfield. Fry Sr. drops back, looking, avoids the sack, tries to go for it, and slides, and he's hit. There's a flag on the play.
It looks like it might go back against Carroll.
Might get him for a hold. We'll see what the call is.
It is a holding call.
Sets him back.
After a good run, you know, that's another Westfield on their QB runs have had some flags from holding, so it's kind of going back to Carroll now after that good run from Gabe.
Yeah, Gabe Fry Sr. avoids and shreds the sack. He's done a very good job at that tonight and tried to work some magic, but his line hurts him there, and it's 2nd down and 17 on the Carroll 36. They get the personnel set. 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Fry Sr. alone in the pocket. Almost gets Aaron Bullis to jump on a hard count.
Yeah, Aaron Bullis is ready to attack that quarterback right there.
Freisinger drops back in the pocket, looking to his left, hits his man on an out route. Jayon Sims gets quite a bit of chunkage of yardage back. Set up for a more third and minimal. Looks like it will be about 3rd and 7 on the Carroll 46. So gets them back what they lost. So 3rd and 7.
Yeah, and it might be 4th down territory if you get close enough to the first down.
Yeah, they bring back in their running back, Jackson Rhodes. 3-4 look for Westfield. He tries to break him on an out route. He hits his man over the middle. Jayon Sims, who has had his number called a lot tonight, hits a little comeback route, and Carroll picks up another first down.
Yeah, and if you're Westfield, you're probably worried about Van Pelt all game, but he's not been targeted that much as 13 and 9 on that field.
Yeah, he had one huge reception, but other than that, Cato has done a pretty good job of defending him tonight as they hand it off to Jackson Rhodes, who's corralled for a gain of about 2. 2nd down and 8 for Carroll. Ball on the Westfield 39.
And Carroll just keeps marching down the field every time. Every time they have the ball, they get there. They've made 2 mistakes that cost them, and Westfield scored on them, but so far they've been doing good.
Yeah, Westfield brings pressure off the edge. Freisinger escapes, looking downfield. Oh, it's intercepted! Logan Loring makes a play happen. Freisinger tried to throw it away deep downfield, but Loring caught it in bounds. And a turnover on downs, and as you just literally said, Callie, they keep hurting themselves with these turnovers.
Yeah, and that's where, he's a junior quarterback, and that's where, you got to learn. Keep the ball. He thought maybe Van Pelt was running a little bit more long, but Van Pelt was coming back, and he's going to wish he has that ball back, especially at the end of this game, if it doesn't go Carroll's way.
Yeah, and especially on a drive where he had been so precise and accurate in the pocket, hitting those short and medium routes, he just forced it downfield, and a costly mistake for this Carroll Chargers offense. But regardless, Westfield comes back out on the 19. Grabowski takes the snap, fakes it, rolls out to his right, looking downfield. Caleb darts. Oh, Grabowski almost throws an interception and gives it right back, but it's dropped and incomplete. Underthrew Caleb darts on that route across the midfield. He's 2nd down and 10. And I think if you're Westfield, I would just try, I know they've already done it a lot, but I would try to establish the run game, kill as much clock as possible, because you do not want to give a Carroll offense that's especially going to be hungry after that last drive the chance to put the ball back in your end zone.
Yeah, especially after that especially after the drive they just had. Carroll, had a fantastic drive going, but just a mistake. They're going to come out hungry this next drive if Westfield doesn't score because they want to tie this game up.
3 turnovers tonight for the Chargers. Aiden Grabowski tries to keep it up the middle, but he's wrapped up. Short gain for the Rocks. They'll bring up 3rd and 7, so not ideal for the Rocks. You want to try and kill as much clock as you can. 4:32 to play in this 3rd quarter. Leading Carroll 21-14. The rain looks to still be falling. Not as bad. Not as bad.
No, it's definitely calmed down a little bit, but it's still coming down.
That turf is definitely wet. But empty set to the left, 2 receivers to the right. Grabowski is just going to fake the handoff, looks downfield. He's going to have to roll out. There's a flag in the backfield. This is probably going to be a hold, and he's brought down there, but it looks to be a hold. They'll probably decline this, and Westfield will have to punt, will be my guess.
Holding Westfield. That penalty's declined.
It was a hold. That penalty was declined. Westfield fails to capitalize. And now they send out their special teams unit.
Yeah, it looked like Gabe Willis might have been the culprit on that holding. They threw it right in his area when Grabowski was kind of rolling out. And Carroll did a good job. They had that kind of play, but they made sure Grabowski did not get that first down.
Yeah, and now Carroll will likely receive this punt in prime field goal position, or prime scoring position. That punt's tipped again. Oh, and it's hit off Alex Aaron Bolez's helmet and fielded just a little past the 50, so they're going to start this drive in really good field position. Westfield fails to capitalize off a Logan Lauren interception.
Yeah, and this is where Carroll needs to be hungry. You know, you made a mistake last drive. You've done it 3 times this game, but you can't let that stop you. You know, mistakes happen, you know. Interceptions happen. You know, he threw 8 on the season. He's at 10 right now, but this is when it matters. You know, you have to lock in. This is the mental side of the game. You have 15 minutes, give or take, and maybe you probably 2 at least guaranteed drives left in this game.
Yeah, and if you're Westfield, you really got to be disappointed in your offense. I mean, 3 turnovers tonight and only a 1-score lead. But they handed off to Jackson Rhodes. It's actually a quarterback keeper. He's corralled for a gain of about 2. Bring up 2nd down and 8. 3:44 to play in this 3rd quarter.
You know, they might be a little more conservative and use the run game more. So,
yeah, use that run game more. Try and open up the play action as Freisinger steps back and he's sacked. He's sacked. Isaac Weingart got him on the blitz. And that is a big step back for this Carroll offense.
Yeah.
Instead of 3rd and manageable, it's now 3rd and 16.
Yeah, that was just a blindside. You know, he just popped in so fast, you know, just watching it. It was probably 2 seconds. He was already at the quarterback. And now you got a 3rd and 16 at your own 44-yard line.
Yeah, Isaac Weinhardt came out off the edge, generated some pressure in the blind spot of the quarterback off the tackle as there's a hold right there, no flag. And he's sacked again! Jadion Smith and Alex Arabolas get him on the double team. And now Carroll is forced to punt, and Westfield's defense takes a stand and forces the 3 and out.
Yeah, and right now, you know, you just look down at Carroll, and you just kind of see the, like, mental change. You know, they had the hype, and now it's kind of calming down. And, you know, their offense kind of sluggish off that field. You know, they want that, but the blocking just didn't work, and Westfield just got to them too quick.
Yeah, now they're forced to punt. 4th and 23, ball on their 36. Back deep to receive for the Rocks is Cato June. The Rocks almost get a hand on it. Cato calls for the fair catch. Just a little inside the 25. 2:13 to play. Westfield leading Carroll 21-14. Do not go anywhere. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. Westfield Sports Network. They forced the 3 and out, and now they hand it off to Deacon Keene for a gain of about 2. And now, Callie, especially more than ever, you have to run that clock out.
Yeah, I was literally about to say that. I was like, you're under 2 minutes in the 3rd quarter. You have to run it. And Brownsburg is up 31-0 versus Warren Central with 9 minutes left in this 4th quarter. So it looks like opponent 1 for state will be the Brownsburg Bulldogs, and we'll see who they play.
Yep, we'll see which team will take on the Bulldogs at Lucas Oil. It's 2nd and 6. They're letting this play clock run low, trying to kill as much clock as possible. They hand it off to Deacon Keene, who goes off the edge, and he picks up the 1st down and plows his way forward for a little extra. Deacon Keene picks up the 1st down. Looks like he's at about the 37-yard line, 38-yard line to be exact. 1st and 10.
And they got about maybe 2 more plays to run before we hit this 4th quarter.
Yeah, and if I were them, I'd keep doing what they were doing. Keep handing the rock off and letting this play clock run down to as low as it can get before you got to snap it. They snap it a little early. Melvin fumbles the snap. He's going to keep it himself, and he's hit hard and forced back at about the line of scrimmage. So a mistake for the Westfield offense is now that sets them back further. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, they got 1 more play, and then we'll hit this 4th quarter. And that's the final 12 minutes of this game. That's when it matters, especially if you're Carroll.
Yeah, Westfield has to run about 1 more play here. Three receivers to the left, empty set to the right. Ball on the Westfield 38. Melvin drops back in the pocket. Looks for Deegan Keene, who makes the catch, but it looks like he dropped it. Incomplete, 13 seconds to go. Not sure why they aren't running the football, but, I mean, it was a good play design. He was wide open. Just that ball, little overthrown, but it's also pretty hard to track, too.
Yeah, it's kind of a lob up in the air, a little too much in the air. And if he had that, he would have got the first down, probably 10 more, or even a touchdown because there was only one defender right there to get him if he caught that ball, as we see Grabowski make his way in for a quarterback.
Yeah, Grabowski substitutes back in for the Shamrocks offense. Three receivers to the left, empty set to the right. Grabowski drops back in the pocket, avoids the sack. He's going to keep it himself. Forces his way upfield. Does he have enough? I think he got it. It's enough to move the first down. And they're going to let this play clock run down, or they're going to let this game clock run down to 0. One more quarter left. Ladies and gentlemen, who's going to Indianapolis to play for that prestigious 6A state trophy? Do not go anywhere. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network.
As more club and travel sports pop up every year, they often muddy the waters on what the purpose of sports should be for student athletes at this age.
But high school sports are different.
It's not about becoming the best athletes, it's about becoming the best people.
It's not about scholarships, it's about coaches mentoring you, camaraderie with your teammates, and the connection you build with your school community.
It's not about year-round training. It's about developing resilience, responsibility, and a strong work ethic for life.
It's not about what am I going to get out of this, it's about playing for something bigger than yourself, for your team, your school, and your entire community.
High school sports help us grow in ways that will serve us for the rest of our lives, not just in the game.
I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig. Support what makes education-based athletics different by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events. This is developing students as people. This is fulfilling a greater purpose. This is your IHSAA.
Welcome back to the Westfield Sports Network. Start of the fourth quarter, 1st and 10 on the Westfield 49. Rocks leading the Chargers 21-14. Grabowski keeps it himself. Flag on the play. Will probably be a false start.
Yeah, a little too excited right there on that first down.
Westfield.
It was a legal formation on the Shamrocks. Set him back 5 yards. 1st and 15 now.
Yeah, and this is when clock management for Westfield, you want to waste as much clock as you can.
So it'll bring up 1st and 15 now on the Westfield 44.
You know, you want to get down to at least the 8-minute mark on this drive if you're Westfield.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to kill as much clock as you possibly can. But you also got to keep your aggressive mindset. This game is still quite close, and you're no way safe at all. Like, you have to keep stacking on this lead.
Yeah, Carroll's defense has their moments when they're stellar. You know, they've had a couple, so has Westfield, but if they lock in and they get off this field, it could be a good game for Carroll to get back on.
Yeah, they hand it back off to Deegan Kane, who makes a man miss and had a stiff arm there, but he's ended up getting corralled, but still a solid pickup on 1st and 15. Gain of about 11.
Grabner right there on the tackle on King, and it took him a couple seconds.
2nd down and 4 on the it's now on the Carroll 45. Three receivers to the left at a screen package look. Melvin's in for the game. Grabowski will take it. He's going to run it on a pass play. And they pick up the first down. And picture this. Cooper Melvin in at quarterback, but they motion 3 receivers to the left with Grabowski in behind them. They throw it to him and use him to run. And I don't want to point a similarity out, but this play was run Chicago Bears, Cincinnati Bengals. Caleb Williams lined up, and Tyson Bagent threw it back to him, and he ran. So Coach Miracle is a Bears fan. I'm just wondering if that's where that came from. But either way, 1st and 10 on the Carroll 37. 2 receivers to the right, empty set to the left. They hand it off to Deacon Kane, who bounces off the edge, forces his way forward for a solid gain of about 8. Had he kept his feet, he probably could have ran it in for 6.
Yeah, that would have been a touchdown. Nobody was even near him, but that was a good tackle from Carroll. And you, with the Bears, they've had their struggles, but that's where you kind of pull play from is the NFL.
Yeah, if you're an offensive-minded coach, you definitely want to take a page out of Ben Johnson's playbook. But 2nd down and 2 for the Westfield offense on the Carroll 29. Grabowski, it's a low snap. Will hand it off again to Deacon Kane, who forces his way forward off the tackle. Looks like he had enough. Will they give it to him with forward progress?
Yes,
yeah, they will. They'll move the chains. 1st down.
Yeah, and so far, Westfield's taken their sweet time. They're at 10 minutes now, and they still got about 27 yards to go before they find that touchdown.
Can they take it to the crib? 9:52 to go in this 4th quarter. 1st and 10 on the Carroll 27. 2 receivers to the right, empty set to the left. Deacon Kane in the backfield. Play clock under 10 at about the 5 seconds to go. Grabowski's got to hurry up and run a snap. 2, 1. He gets it off in time. Coach Miracle has to call the timeout. I don't think he thought he could get it in time. And for Westfield, not a timeout you want to be using this early on, just in case something were to happen. You have to get your personnel set, and you have to get a playoff.
Yeah, that's something, Westfield has struggled with that previously, not being able to get the snap off, and Miracle's had to take timeouts even in the 3rd quarter at some points in games that really they already had the win in some close games. And, Westfield's motto is don't give up the ship, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it, their whole motto is road to state and don't give up the ship, and that's something, they don't want to do here in this last 9 minutes and 31 seconds.
Yeah, and you don't want to be calling a timeout. A, you don't want to waste one. B, you don't want to stop the clock. I mean, like you said, Callie, they have to at least get this to the 8-minute mark at the least. Now they're closer. They're at about the 27. They're in field goal range now. But either way, still not a timeout you want to be burning. But either way, 1st and 10 on the Carroll 27. Cooper Melvin back in at quarterback for the Shamrocks. No Aiden Grabowski this time, as Melvin will fake the handoff, hits Caleb Darts in a tight window, who makes a man miss inside the 10 at about the 6. Cooper Melvin forces it into a tight window and makes an impressive throw for the young sophomore. And Westfield continuing to force it downfield, but you got to get 6 here.
Yeah, and this is when the passing game is coming out right now, and this is when, if you get this touchdown, you have a little more breathing room, and you can calm down a little bit more if you get the ball back.
Yep, 1st and goal on the 5. Grabowski will fake the handoff, he goes off the edge, stopped a little bit short of the goal line. Bring up 2nd and goal. Under 9 minutes to play in this 4th quarter. 2nd and goal on the 1. Could we see a quarterback sneak up the middle here?
It's a go-to call, I think, right here. If it's Miracle and Coach Slicker, they love Grabowski running it, or Deacon King. We've seen him find the end zone twice already tonight, and Grabowski once.
Yep, 2nd and goal on the 1. They hand it off to Deacon King, who plows his way up the middle. Touchdown, Westfield. 8:23 to go in the 4th quarter. Deacon King plows his way into the end zone. And it's now 27-14 in the Rocks' favor.
As they say in other sports, he got a hat trick right there. 3 touchdowns tonight. We didn't see much of him postseason, but tonight we've seen a lot of him. And he keeps finding his way to the end zone like he has last season. He loved finding the end zone.
Yep, finally healthy, and he's back taking reps at the running back position, and boy, oh boy, has he had himself a game tonight. As the extra point is up and good by Diego Herrera, 28-14, 8:23 to play in the fourth quarter. Does Carroll have a little bit left in the tank to pull out a miracle, or will the Rocks be headed to state? Don't go anywhere. We got a game, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to the Westfield Sports Network. Welcome back to the Westfield Sports Network. And Nick Beam to kick off for the Rocks. An impressive drive. They go take the lead or continue out on their lead 28-14. As the kick is off, field in the back of the end zone. Rhodes is going to take it out this time. And he gets it to about the 20 before he is brought down. 8:18 to play, and out comes Gabe Freisiner looking for a chance of redemption. 3 turnovers tonight for this Carroll offense.
Yeah, and this drive matters. You know, you don't have a guarantee that you'll get the ball back. So if you get a touchdown, an onside kick is the move. But this drive is the drive that matters of all game.
Yes, this especially is a huge drive. Can they write redemption? 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Rhodes in the backfield. Freisinger takes the snap, high snap, hands it off to Rhodes, who picks up a gain of about 3, maybe 2. Be second down and 7. As there's an injured man on the field, they stop the clock. And we will take a quick break. Do not go anywhere. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. Welcome back to the Westfield Sports Network. Second down and 7. 8:03 to play. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Freisinger drops back in the pocket, hits his man. It's Harrison Shaley. Or no, it's not. It's actually Colton Booker.
Yeah, and if they keep bringing this fast-paced kind of tempo, I think it could work. You know, they started using that in the first half and kind of stopped. a little in the second half. So if they bring this back, they could find their way to the end zone fast.
Yeah, got to sort of move with a little bit of precision and effort, a little tempo offense here. 7:35 to play. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Freisinger drops back in the pocket. He's got to get rid of it fast. He does. Hits his man, Harrison Shaley, for a short pickup on a little comeback route. 2nd and 6, gain of 4. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right, following the same offensive look. Freisinger drops back in the pocket. He's got to get rid of it fast. Aaron Bullis corrals on him. He's just going to toss it deep. It's picked off again! Logan Loring makes a man miss.
His second of the night, and what a play. You know, that's another interesting play call from the quarterback there to throw. You know, Van Pelt already was not in the best field position with 2 defenders on him. And it looks like that might be it for Carroll.
Yeah, it's still 7 minutes left. Still could work some moments, but now Westfield for sure is going to try to run and ground and pound, try to kill this clock and head to state. The stands are starting to clear out at Carroll a little bit. Still a lot of people here, though, and still time left. I don't think it's time to panic yet, but definitely, once again, I want to say his 3rd interception on the night. 4 turnovers in total. Just a rough night for this Carroll offense, which was looking promising in this first half.
Yeah, and that's what halftime does. Miracle got his team in order in that halftime.
Yeah, and Aiden Grabowski will take it up the middle. Had a room to run, and he picks up the first down inside the 40.
Yeah. And, you know, Westfield, you know, all their players all season, they said, we want Brownsburg, we want Brownsburg. And it could be a state rematch, as we saw Brownsburg got them last year, and, you know, we had a final Hail Mary that was intercepted by Brownsburg. So Westfield hoping to get revenge in state.
Yeah, and they played them pretty tough. Now, it was at home, but still, you got to believe. And this offense has definitely established a different identity since then. So given Westfield wins about 6:25 to play in this 4th quarter, it should be a very good state rematch. But still time for the Chargers to work a miracle. 1st and 10. Grabowski hands it off to Baylor Connor, who's smashed right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10 on the Carroll 40.
Yeah, we might expect Carroll to start taking some timeouts, maybe under 5 minutes, to hopefully get the ball back if they make the stop right here and don't give them another first down.
Normally, I'd say take the timeouts at about 3 minutes, but I agree with you, Callie, because they're so far back. You got to start taking them sooner than later, because you got to score 2 times to get this game back to where you want it. But 2nd down and 10, 5:44 to play. 2nd and 10 on the Carroll 40. Carroll brings 5 up. Grabowski's just going to hand it off to Baylor Connor, who's smashed again at the line of scrimmage. Carroll takes a stand.
And this is where we might see a passing play here for the Shamrocks. You know, 3rd and 10, you could run it again, but you've gotten no yards on 2 of your last rushes.
Yeah, 3rd and 10, 5:10 to play in this 4th quarter. I'm with you, Callie. I think you got to pass it here. But if you want to keep killing clock, maybe you run it. Maybe you find a hole. I mean, who knows? But it looks like with this offensive outlook, they got 3 receivers to the left, potentially a wide receiver screen outlook here. But they keep it. Aiden Grabowski keeps it on the ground, who forces his way forward. Hard hit there. Slow to get up is Grabowski. He's rolling on the ground. We're going to take a quick break. Welcome back to the Westfield Sports Network. Aiden Grabowski walking off the field. Obviously a good sign. Cooper Melvin in at quarterback. 4th and 2. They hand it off to Deacon Keene. I think he got it. He did. Oh, they're going to call him Are they going to give it to him? They do. 1st and 10 for the Shamrocks.
Yeah.
Clock continuing to roll. It might be time to start taking those timeouts, Callie.
I know, and it kind of looks like Carroll doesn't want to take timeouts. You know, we kind of saw it looked like he got the 4th down from up here, and Carroll might just say no. You know, you have 4:08, but if they can take 2 minutes off in 2 plays.
I know, it's just a crazy sight to see that they're not taking these timeouts, but Cooper Melvin hands it off to Deacon Keene, who bounces in between the guard and the center for a gain of about 4 yards. Carroll calls their first timeout. Okay, here we go. 3:45 to play in the 4th, 2nd and 6 in Cali. Given Carroll stops him right here. It's a far field goal. I'd be interested to see if I bet Westfield will attempt it. 2-score lead. Probably feel comfortable. Given Carroll gets the ball back, obviously they have to push pace. And if they scored, they got to go outside kick. By the time they scored, there's no time.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of tough, especially because I think, you know, Gabe's a little in his head. He's had his interceptions. I think kind of Carroll's offense, you know, kind of, you know, they had such a high start, but I think after halftime they kind of started going a little downhill. They've had great plays, but the turnovers will get you, and that's what is getting them. If you didn't have these turnovers, it could have been a different ball game. Carroll could have been up, but if you're Carroll, you need to stop them right here. If you give them this first drive, it's pretty much over. They have plenty of time then.
I completely agree, and I think if you're Westfield, I would attempt the field goal even if they don't get it, but still, obviously, only 6 yards to go. They have 2 downs to work with before they have to make that decision, but Melvin will hand it off to Baylor Connor, who bounces off the edge and pushes his way forward. It's going to be a 3rd and short. Another timeout by Carroll. One timeout left.
Carroll, 2nd charge timeout.
We're going to take a quick break. Do not go anywhere. You are listening to the Westfield Sports Network. Welcome back to the Westfield Sports Network, 3rd and 3. Melvin takes the snap. He'll go off edge. Is Deacon Keene, who forces his way up the middle and runs right into the end zone. Westfield scores, and that's the icing on the cake. The state trip is pretty much guaranteed, 34-14, and Westfield starting to put away the Chargers.
Yeah, and this is what they wanted. State rematch. Deacon King found the end zone for the 4th time tonight. His best game kind of the season with the end zones. And I think if we look, Grabowski gets healthy, we know it won't be raining because Lucas Oil is covered, so it could be a different ball game. They don't have to travel as far either. So if Westfield starts state on a hot start, it could be a good ball game.
Yeah, Diego Herrera, the extra point is good. 35-14, 3:32 to play in this 4th quarter. Do not go anywhere. You are watching the Westfield Sports Network. Welcome back to the Westfield Sports Network. Westfield leading 35-14 over Carroll. 3:32 to play.
If you're Carroll, you're just give it your best effort. I know you can't do anything, but for your seniors, you know, it's their last game on this home field. You just kind of give it everything you got.
As the kick is up, it's fielded by Luke Rhodes, who is brought down a little past the 27. Oh, the ball was out. Flag flies. Looks like Carroll got on top of it. So we await the call from the referee.
On the return, holding Carroll, 10 yards, 5 foul.
So it was a holding on Carroll, set him back 10 more yards. 3:22 to play in this fourth quarter. And Callie, if you're Carroll, obviously you can try and force this ball down and score, but ultimately, what do you make out of this?
It's just, you know, you got to give it everything. You know, as I was saying, you know, seniors, last game, you know, Gabe's still out there. He's a junior. He has one more year, but you just got to give it everything. You can't give up, not even right now. You know, this is where, you know, your brain is telling you, why even run a play? Just give up. But if you're Carroll, you don't want to give up.
Yeah, Gabe Freisinger will keep it himself. Gets the first down with a gain of about 14 yards. 3:15 on the clock. 1st and 10 on the Carroll 29. Two receivers to the left, two to the right. Freisinger will take the snap in the pocket. Forced to get rid of it, and he's sacked. Adrian Fetronelli gets to him on the sack. Clock continues to run. Carroll's not really in any hurry anymore, not pushing tempo like they were before. 2:55 to go.
Yeah, tempo at this point, it doesn't matter. You know, you have 3 touchdowns, and there's no point with 2 minutes left.
Yeah, Freisinger steps back in the pocket. He's going to keep it himself. Gets the first down. I mean, Moore's hit hard, but he picks up the first down at about the 44-yard line. Clock stops for a minute before it gets set. It now rolls. 2:35 to go. Freisinger drops back in the pocket, rolls out to his left, forced to get rid of it, and he just throws it on the turf. 2nd down and 10, 2:26 to go.
Yeah, and that's all you can do right there. Just don't, you know, you don't want to give up an interception. Just be smart, you know. This game's already out of reach. It's just now, it's kind of like a fun game, you know, back to your elementary days when you were just playing for fun, you know. The competition kind of died down as you're losing by 3 touchdowns.
You have 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Freisinger takes the snap, drops back in the pocket. Pressure coming off the edge. He's forced to get rid of it. He throws it downfield to a complete. Man, it's Jaden Van Pelt with the reception. Picks up the first down. .220 to go. Two receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Freisinger drops back in the pocket, makes a man miss. He's just going to run for it, runs out of bounds for a gain of about 5.
You know, he has explosive legs, and that's, we got to give him credit. You know, he's used his legs a lot tonight, and they've been for positive yards.
Yep, 2nd and 6, 2:13 to play in this fourth quarter. Motions his man back to the left. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Takes the snap, rolls out to his left. Forces his way, and he gets the first down. First and 10 on the Westfield 30. Clock continuing to roll. Just about under 2 minutes. Now 1:59 to play in the fourth. Westfield sticks back in a 3-4. Freisiner tosses it to the sideline. Shaylee is brought down.
It will be an incomplete pass. Couldn't quite haul it in as pressure just got to him right there.
Yeah, that pass was dropped. Must have dropped on his way down. Couldn't secure it off the ground. 1:48 to play. Second and 10. Drops back in the pocket, rolls out. Freisiner. There's a flag thrown. This is probably coming back.
Holding, Carroll.
Holding. This will be set back. Carroll's offense 10 yards. Be second down and 20.
74. Hey.
And as we see, Westfield's kind of second string on defense right now, kind of giving the players that, took this 2-hour bus ride with them to get some playing time on that field.
Yeah, Westfield's starting to enter the subs. 1:41 to go in this fourth quarter. As they march back. The stand's starting to clear out here in Fort Wayne. Clock rolling, 1:37 to play. Freisiner throws it to his left, hits his man Jaden Van Pelt, who makes a man miss. And he's hit hard on the ground. It'll bring up third and long. He gets a little bit back, but the clock continues to roll. Under 1:15 to play in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, this could be the last play here for Carroll's offense if they don't complete this third down.
Yep, under a minute to play. 3rd and 14 on the Carroll 34. They force it downfield. That pass is tipped and incomplete. Bring up 4th and 14. It'll be interesting to see what Carroll does here. 52 seconds to play.
Yeah, it doesn't even hurt to go for it right here. If you were Carroll, why not?
Fourth and 14 on the Westfield 34. 52 seconds to play. They motion 2 receivers to the right. Freisiner drops back in the pocket. And he's sacked and brought down. And that will do it. Turnover on downs. Westfield will come back out and knee this one out and head to Lucas Oil.
Yeah, and that's what they wanted all season. They were close with Brownsburg. They only lost by 4 in the regular season. So if you're Westfield, they've had a good game. Mistakes here you can learn from. Carroll came out, though, a phenomenal job. Mistakes happen. But in the first half, I thought this game would be closer, but the Rocks kind of rallied together in the second quarter and pulled away. So we can't let Carroll go. They had a fantastic game.
Yeah, and they found they were clicking offensively early on. Just struggled to keep the ball in their hands. They turned it over 4 times today. 3 interceptions by Freisiner. He only had 8 up until this point today. As they knee it out. Under 40 seconds to play.
We're done.
Maybe they might have to knee it one more time. About a second difference on the game clock. They might not have to knee it. It looks like they won't even have to. As Carroll gets ready to take over and walk the field as both teams are walking out to midfield. Westfield knocks off Carroll 35-14 in semi-state. They will head to Lucas Oil for the 2nd straight year with the chance for a rematch against Brownsburg. And as for Carroll, their season ends in semi-state. Still a phenomenal year. They competed with Westfield here today, and they have a quarterback who's still going to continue to develop and continue to succeed.
Yeah, I think, you give him a year. He made mistakes this game, but at the end of the day, he had a good game. With his rushing, you got to take away the good from the bad. And I expect Carroll to be back in this place again next year.
I do too. As Westfield, under Coach Miracle, 2 seasons, 2 state championship appearances. So we'll see if they can rewrite last year's wrong and win the state championship. It will not be easy. But before we sign off, one last word. This tonight is me and Callie's final high school broadcast at Westfield. Callie, do you have any words you'd like to say for the people before we sign off?
I mean, it's been a pleasure being in your living rooms, your homes, the last 3 to 4 years, this day seems so far away when you're a freshman and sophomore doing these games, but as it comes, the last game, you're in semi-state. I couldn't ask for a better team to be in this booth, and I'm just blessed that I got this opportunity, and I, can't wait to see what Westfield does in the future with the other broadcast team, whoever's up next.
Yeah, we know whoever comes next will carry the tradition on and lead well. I will keep it short. Thank you to everyone who came before: Rowan, Evan, Aiden. Thank you, producer Alan and Ian. And thank you, Callie. And for the final time, this is Drew Taylor signing off. Good night.